So, my name's Philip Cook. I'm a Yorkshireman now living in Wales, and I wanted to do some videos about some of the politics about what's going on in Wales. And the politics in Wales sort of got me interested because when I moved here we didn't have 20 miles an hour blanket speed limit, but now we have 20 miles an hour. And no one will disagree that in certain places it makes sense. In other places it doesn't make any sense. Now, because of this 20 miles an hour, certain things have come to the notice of everybody in Wales. And I think I should say, when I say to the notice of the people in Wales, just under 500,000 people in Wales signed a petition objecting to the 20 miles an hour. Now that is out of a population of 3.1 million. So you're talking a lot of people. The Welsh Government decided to ignore that. However, as I've said, that brought the attention. And one of the things which has caught everybody's eye is this promotion of active travel. Now active travel is around cycling and walking and hopefully, making yourself fitter. Now that's a great aim. I can't see anybody really objecting to it. On a personal note, I object to it because I think it's freedom of choice. So if I want to use a car, I'll use a car. If I want to walk, I'll walk. If I want to cycle, I will cycle. However, active travelling seems to be getting thrust upon us without any consultation. And one of the main charities promoting this is Sustrans. Now, as you can see on this slide here, Sustrans are a charity, but in some places in England they call charities non-government organisations, but in Wales they're called the third sector. Now, as I've said, as you can see, they spend a lot of public money, we don't have any consultation on it, and they have a very close relationship with the Welsh Government. However, as I've said, no one has asked us, the public, who are having our money used without any consultation. Now, if you want to get information from a charity, it can be difficult because, as you can see at the bottom paragraph, the Information Commissioner's Officer sort of basically says the Act does not cover every organisation that receives public money. Now, I have written to Sustrans asking for some information, so hopefully I'll get some back. In between that, I've done information requests to the Welsh Government because I'm interested to see what projects they're doing and how our money is being spent. So I then got back a couple of documents, and one of them is this eMove Annual Report 2021. Now, first thing I noticed is the document's redacted. Now, why it's redacted, I have no idea. However, with redaction, I can say what I want about it. So there should be a picture there clearly on the big slide. I don't know why there isn't, but author reviewed by, signed off by, to me that's always very suspicious. What are you hiding? Who signed it off? Because it's our money, we should know. So, moving on to this eMove. So the project, looking at this, was over 5 places. It was over Barry, Swansea, Newtownville and Aberystwyth. And the aim was to get people onto e-cycles and they would loan them out for free. Now, nothing wrong with that. If you can make it work, that's great. And on each site, they had 80 e-cycles in total, 20 per site, but they also went for e-cargo, and that's to replace vans. So as you can see, there's quite a big push there. And the aim was to basically establish and manage low-cost e-cycle hire and loans pilot schemes. The bit missing for me is long-term and also cost-effective, because it doesn't say that, but at least I've got some objectives. So a little bit more detail about it. Now, this is from the slides itself, so there's no arguing with the documentation. So as you can see, they loaned it to 130 people across the 5 locations. Now the interesting bit is the actual average trip they did was 4.2 kilometres, which is about 3 miles. Now for 12 months, 130 people, I won't say that's impressive. Also with the e-cargos, they loaned that to 7 micro-organisations and 1 small, so that's 8 in total. But they themselves did 4.3 kilometres, so that's exactly the same as 130 people. Now, what I should ask is the population of all these places added up is about 350,000. So I'm not going to call that a big success at all, because it is not a success. It's not money spent well at all. So I also have the following year, so they did it over 2 years, 22 to 23. Again, we have reductions. Why we have reduction, no idea. Again, it was the same locations, same bikes as well, so at least they've reused some of them. But this time, again, we'll look at e-cycle for communities, and this time it goes up to 337 people. However, they did 4.2 kilometres or 3 miles. And then we'll look at e-cycles for organisations, and that was 31 organisations. And again, they actually did 4.3 kilometres. So they did about the same. So in year 2, the distance hasn't increased at all. Now, as I'm going through the report, I did notice on both of them they have done some training sessions. So you think, well, okay, they've trained people. But that sort of makes sense when you're dealing with these cycles. But one thing which did caught my eye, because when they were promoting active travel, and they still are, a member of the Senate, Lee Waters, came out and said cycling's great as long as you've got the right gear. Now, this organisation, Sustrans, the cycling charity, they actually cancelled the demo, as you can see, due to bad weather conditions. So clearly, when it's pissing it down, they're not keen on it. So I then wanted to look at the running costs. So as you can see, everything's guess, because none of these documents have come with costs. So I've asked for the costs. And my best guess is 30 grand times 5, because they had 5 people. So that's £150,000. Running costs, I've put 12 grand, but it could be more. Cycles, best guess, 240k, as you can see. And this is off the internet. Total spend, 482,000. So that's a lot of money, I think. Outcomes from the population, some training, miles travelled, about 2.7 miles. Second year, now the costs are less, because looking at the documentation, it seems I have 1 less staff member. Running cost 12k, 150k. But miles travelled is the same, 2.7. Now this is their documentation, not mine. Now, So overall, do I think it's a good value for money scheme? I do not at all. I don't really understand why it's happening, because that money could be spent elsewhere. Because where I live, there's work which needs doing on the roads desperately, and that money could have been used to fix those roads. Like everywhere, we could have used that money for better things. So hopefully you've enjoyed the videos. Hopefully you will have a tick and subscribe, because I think that's what they say. I am trying to find the best format for myself. I'm just like going along with it. So hopefully you've enjoyed it. If so, tick it or whatever you need to do. Thank you for watching.